and for some reason that's difficult. Alright, so what we're doing on page 52, you should be getting a progress report today. At the very top, this should be glued on page 52. I realized I messed up in first period. The IXL mastery grades are all due by December 20th, and the project is due December 16th by 3:40. So that's just a reminder. Please get this signed and bring it back. If it's not signed and brought back by Friday, tomorrow, then I'll have to send your guardians the progress report themselves. Alright, so now we're on page 53. We're going to do IXL Algebra U.2. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to graph the two equations, the two graphs, and see where the intersection is, see where the solution is at. So let's zoom in. I asked you to do the first one as a warm-up today for a grade. So what you're supposed to do today is squiggly underline. So if it has an X, that's a squiggly. If it has no X, no Y, that's an underline. The one that you underline, the one that does not have X or Y, that is the banana. That's your beginning point. So your banana is at 6. Remember, the bananas always go on the Y-axis. Always. So on here, you should have a banana at 6. And if you did that, that was 50 points. Not everyone got 50 points today in class. No, not everyone got 0. A couple people didn't. I mean, lots of people did not get 0. So just speak for yourself, DK. Alright, so what you're going to do next is the slope. The slope is the one with the squiggly. So right here is the squiggly, right? I see an X. Now I don't see a number in front of the X. How many X's do you have? 1. 3, if it was 3, it would say 3x. It's 1. So because we write that as a fraction, as a rate, it's 1 over 1. So what you were supposed to do from the banana, since it's positive, you go up. If it were negative, you would go down, but you always go to the right. You go up 1 over 1. Up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. Now what I did is I put protractors at your desks so that you could use a protractor to make a straight line, and I don't have one right now, but okay. So that's all I asked you to do for today. Now I realize that some of you were using technology, which is totally fine if you use technology and you look at the graph and you look at the X and Y intercepts and you make the same graph on your paper. That's totally fine. Some of you did that. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it will not help you. So that was number 1. You're going to have to do this in just a few minutes. Now for number 2, you do the same thing, squiggly, circle, underline. This is my Y. Right here is my underline, so that means that this one is my banana. So my B equals 2. So here is 2, and the banana goes here at 2. Now, for my X, do I have a squiggly here? No, I do not have a squiggly, so my slope is 0, because I do not have an X. So, if you remember Slope Man, like your homework, is IXL S.20, and it's all about the horizontal and vertical lines. When your slope is 0, yes, Ahad, you're done. Thank you for reminding me. Good job. Good job. Good job. Yes, there's also a video on Google Classroom. So when the slope is 0 and there's no x's, that means that there's no slope, then it's a horizontal line like this. Oops. It's a horizontal line like that. When your slope is 0. So notice there's no x, so slope is 0, so that's why it's a horizontal line. Okay? Now, we're going to do an example so I can show you what the IXL is going to look like today. So basically, we've done that. What IXL is asking you to do, because we're starting a new unit about solutions, the solution is where the two graphs cross. So here's where the two graphs cross. Make that obvious. Go ahead and make your little cat meow just for funsies. We'll see where the whiskers is the X. That's where the solution is at. So please take good notes and please write this down. The solution is point where the graphs cross. So I can see where they cross. Then my answer at the bottom is going to be the x. So the x here is negative 5. And the y value is 2. And that would be my answer. You have to graph both equations. That's why it has the two colors, and tell me where the solution is at. That's what you're doing today on IXL. I'm going to show you another problem, and then y'all will get started. So here's where the solution's at, the x, and then you're going to do the y. Okay. All right, IXL. So this one is in algebra. We have pretty much finished the 8th grade ones. Yes. Sorry? It was? I'll have to check again, but mine's showing up as negative. Okay, I'll check in just a minute. Alright, so this first one right here, I'm going to have you copy down y equals negative x plus 5 on 52. Sorry, 53. Y equals negative x plus 5. So I do the same thing as before, squiggly underline. If you're getting trouble and you're not sure how to do these, I recommend you write them down, squiggly, circle, underline. So here it has an x, so squiggly or underline, Masterina? Say again? Yes, and then the 5, Xochitl? So that makes the one that you underline the banana or the slope, Omar. The banana. So your banana is 5. So then you're going to put a point at 5 on the y-axis. We did this like s dot 7. Your slope is the one that you squiggly. I squiggly this one. Raul, do you know what the slope is? It's not 1 because it's negative. It's negative 1 over 1. Because it's negative, Alejandro, do you go down or up? You go down, and then you always go in which direction, Miriam? Do you remember? To the right. So from the banana, you go down 1, down, because it's negative over 1. There's your first graph. Then you're going to click on the other graph, the yellow, and you're going to graph the second one to see where the solution is at. Oops. So what you're going to do is write y. Y'all are so funny. Thank you. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, channel 60. Okay, this is the one that you squiggly. This is the one that you underline. So my banana is the one I underlined, negative 5. So I put a point at negative 5. My slope is the one I squiggly. I don't see an x. I do see an x, but I don't see the number. So it's 1 over what, Denise? 1 over... Is it positive or negative, Anel? Positive. So I go which direction, Ahad? Right. Up. And then you always go to the right. Because it's positive, you go up. So from the banana, you go up 1 over 1. Yeah. And do you see where the graphs cross? Right there's the cat, right? Right there's a solution. So what's the x right there? 5. What's the y value here? 0. And that's what you're doing today.